Hello and welcome to the Awaken Journey. My name is Debbie Wilson and I am your host for this online virtual retreat. And I am so excited to be here with you today, as well as to be here with the beautiful, beautiful Susan Kennard. Hello, Susan, how are you?
Hi, Debbie. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, thank you for inviting me on this live. It's
Oh, I'm
great.
so excited. You always have such wonderful things to share. Your guides are always so on point, and it's just such a lovely experience working with you. I
Thank
personally work with you, so
you.
I'm just so enamored. So I want
Thank
to
you.
kind
Thank
of
you.
get us on the same page with all the different lives that we've had.
Mm.
So I want to do a really quick recap of some of the things that we
Hmm.
talked about. And
Yeah.
then you're so lovely. You're going to help us get into our heart space together as a
Yeah.
group. So
Yeah.
everyone, please let us know that you're here and that you're watching. And again, any questions that you have, please post them in the comments below and we will answer them as they come in. So first,
Great.
when we were last together, we talked about how to be a witness to your life. We
Hmm.
talked about dis-ease in the body,
Yeah.
and we talked about living in the now. And we
Yeah.
also talked about seamless love. And so we're going
Hmm.
to pick up a little bit on that topic after we all come into our heart space together. So I'm going to turn it over to you right now.
I just wanted to share because it shows that does it show you're live on here? Because then I can share it on my Facebook as well. I don't know if I can do that. Can I? Does it show that we're
I don't know
live
how
or
that works.
no?
That's a little bit past my
Past your,
capabilities.
don't worry, it's past mine as well. Yeah, let's come into a heart space. So I always like to, as you know, when I run any groups or I do any work with anyone, I always like to prepare the space, which I've already done. But I would really like us all just to come into our heart, and I'll do a grounding and connecting meditation, kind of visualization meditation, and then we can go ahead and chat. Brilliant.
Beautiful.
So let's all just forget about the day, whatever's been going on, forget about everything you need, because in this now moment, all you need is to come into your heart. So let's take a deep breath in through our nose and out through our mouth. Good. And just place your hands on your heart if that's possible. And just start to connect with the light in your heart, and imagine that light as a golden globe of light. This is how the guides are showing it to me. So it's like a golden ball or globe of light. And expand that light throughout your heart, throughout every single cell of your body. So you could kind of imagine that each one of the cells was lighting up. So if you were to look at yourself as light, you could see yourself sparkling. Just imagine your sparkly self there. And then imagine a beautiful star underneath your feet, which is your Earth star. And this Earth star connects you to Mother Earth, to Gaia, and to the part of you that is human this time. And just to connect with that part of you, knowing that all your needs are met, that you're supported at all times. Yeah. And that you are nourished. And just imagine that you're receiving all of the nutrients, all of the vitamins, minerals, everything we need to carry out our mission here in this physical body, our life path. And then I want you to imagine a star above your head, and this star is your soul star. It connects you to the unified light of consciousness. And I want you to imagine that above your soul star, there are the stars beyond the stars, all of the different star systems, all of the planets, the multiverse, just infinity. And I want you to bring down beautiful, I get silvery blue, golden light all the way through your soul star, down through your body, meeting in the heart. And what the guides are saying here is this remembering of our galactic lifetimes, our times when we chose to experience a different form. And our vibration was really, really fine and light. And we were much more crystalline. So just bring that beautiful light down, knowing that you are a multidimensional being of light. And just bring that memory and that now moment into your heart space now. And so I see them guiding us to expand that light out to our heart and share it with the world. So as we are sharing this beautiful love, seamless love vibration with the world, we are also receiving that love back. So it's a symbiotic relationship. As we give, we receive. As we receive, we give. Maybe just say your intention. Just have an intention. Maybe a question that you want to ask. Maybe an answer that you need. Just set that intention. And even if you physically don't get that answer given to you today, then know that the universe and your guides have heard it. And when you feel ready, you can come back. So it is.
That's so beautiful. It's always so beautiful. I love when you do that. It's so important to be in the heart space, but it's just, there's something about that process. And I've had the opportunity to work with you in one of your classes. And so it's just so lovely to actually do that on a weekly basis with you, but to do it all the time. I actually done it numerous times today just to make sure.
And it's always different. You know, it's always different as well. Today it was slightly different. It was connecting with the galactics and sending that out. And sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's something different. But today it felt really prominent work with that galactic energy.
Yes, that was so beautiful. So, okay, real fast. So we have Brigitte here with us. Hello, and hello to Lori and Haley and Kieran. They're all here.
Hi.
So anyone, if you have some questions, please feel free to share them. Haley says that was beautiful. She loves the shimmering gold light. So I have some, well, let's talk about the love vibration and frequency, because Rob said something the other day that really sat with me. When you're in a situation and you're dealing with some difficulties, whatever that may be, ask yourself, what would love do in this situation? And that's just such a beautiful way to look and reflect and really look at any situation that you're in. And so how does someone get themselves into that frequency, into that vibration, and stay there?
Good one. That's our journey, right? That's our journey throughout our whole life path mission. But I just want to say that that was great what Rob said. That's really lovely, and it's really good to remember it because you know, we are love, okay, and everything is love. So even if when we're looking at something and it doesn't feel like love, actually it is love, but not in the romantic sense of how we see love, or in the 3D aspect of love, you know, from another to another. It's really the vibration of love, which is the universe. And I'm seeing the sign, so the sign of the universe. But what I wanted to say was that, you know, when we imagine ourselves, if we're thinking about what love is, if we imagine that we don't have this jacket on, we don't have this physical body with the aches, Debbie, and things like that, right? If we didn't have that, underneath is this infinite being of light. And this infinite being of light, this soul, this infinite being of light doesn't, you know, isn't thinking about, you know, oh, this is difficult or that's, we're just in a space of infinite possibility, because that soul part of us has come in and said, this is what I'm choosing. I'm remembering I have a physical body. that tells me what I need to know if I listen to it, right? And I'm smiling just for, obvious reasons, right? Debbie has a little ache in her shoulder. So we were just talking about it. So our body is our barometer for our soul. We also chose that we would have guidance. We would be able to connect with our guides. We would connect with our inner guidance. We would have our higher self speaking to us at all times. Those are two main things. And the other thing is that we just knew exactly why we were here. Like, we didn't just think, oh, what shall I do? We were like, we know exactly what we're meant to do. So that to me is the expression of I can see my trio here. I've got Ashtar, Joshua, and Mother Mary, and I'm hearing it as the divine aspect of love. So it's the divinity within us is seamless love. And so to stay in that is, and I'm just being reminded this here, but to stay in that is to remember who you are. Because when you remember who you are, no matter what is going on in the world, no matter what is going on in your life, if you can come back to that point, okay, so I'm a soul and a body, all right, I get that, but this is really difficult. So I need to remember that I'm here for a really important reason. Okay, I get that. So you keep kind of checking in with it, right? Mm-hmm. And if the physical body is showing dis-ease, in the sense of a really deep picture, we would say in the trade, a deep picture of dis-ease, then what is it that my soul is trying to talk to me about that I'm not maybe aligning to? Okay, we did a great galactic chamber today, which was on synchronicity, and the galactic healing chambers that we created together, my guides and I. And the synchronicity was really interesting because it's about saying, well, actually, when I'm in alignment with my life path, whichever it might be, whichever aspect it might be, synchronicities show up. Yeah. And that is the expression of seamless love, because we are in that vibrational match. So when we see something that is not something we want to see, then we come back to ourselves and ask, okay, what is it I need to know about that for myself? What is it I need to tweak? What is it I need to listen to? If it's my body, what do I need to listen to? And if it's a person, yeah, then where am I, where do I need to cut the ties in the sense of emotional, I don't mean cut the ties, push someone out of your life. That sometimes happens, but cut the ties in the sense of where have I got cording, where have I got attachment, where have I got something that I'm mirroring to myself through someone else. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so these are all the aspects that, we can't just walk about life and just have nothing that we need to work on, because what's the point of being here?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
We wouldn't have a human form. There'd be no point of having a human form. This is an incredible time. This is expansion. This is awakening. This is ascension. So whoever listens to this, and people even that haven't listened to this, your show, people haven't listened to it, they're still on the ascension pathway. Yeah. They just might not know it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it sounds like what you're basically saying is this is an ongoing conversation. This is a conversation that you're having with yourself continuously. And, whether we're having an experience that tweaks us, we have, a relationship that's challenging us, whatever it is, it's all meant to work for us, not, be against us. But are we seeing that? And are we able to see what that piece in that situation is and how we come back to love? But, clearly it's not always easy, right?
No,
we're
absolutely.
having challenges. It can absolutely be difficult. So I love how you're saying, come back to yourself and come back to that remembrance. That's a big piece in all of that. And I guess the question that I would also add on top of that is, we're in a remembrance process. We've been behind the veil, not knowing who we are, and we're awakening to that process. So
Yeah.
how, for the person who says, but I don't really remember who I am, what do we
Yeah.
say to that?
You're on the journey of remembering. So basically, you're not just this brain and this physical body. You're not just this. You're so much more than that. And that, the dreams that you dream about, you can actually create them. And the reason why you've even thought about them is because there is a part of you that needs to share your gifts with the world. And so it's remembering that you have your own beautiful gifts to share with the world. They're not somebody else's, they're not mine, they're not Debbie's, they're not anyone else's. They're your gifts. And they're the sum of the parts of all your experiences in this lifetime, from conception right the way through, and other times before, and ancestral lineage to bring in and heal. So, our Akashic records show us so much about what we decided to bring in and heal. Yeah. And so we're not just this, physical body that walks about the world and then just dies. It's like that isn't who we are. We are
Right.
so much more than that.
And I think that's a big piece to all of this that sometimes gets lost in the shuffle, that, definitely, obviously, before we're awakening, we are very much in a 3D experience. It's about all of the daily living, the job, the house, the cars, the kids, the parents, and those are all still parts of our 5D,
Oh, yeah.
but in a different way. And so I guess it's that part of when you wake up and you're suddenly saying, okay, there's so much more to me than just the roles that I have played and those interactions. But it is getting into that mindset of really stopping, because we can get caught up in all of that. It's very easy to get caught up in it and lose sight and forget, oh, wait a minute, there's so much more than this. This experience may appear to be XYZ, but really it's not. So what is it trying to show me? So it's always, I love that, coming back to, okay, what is this? And I'm going to have a whole conversation with my shoulder when we're finished here to say, what is this?
What are you trying to tell me? Yeah.
Right. What are
Well,
you
when my
trying
tooth fell out the other day, which is a standing joke on my newsletter, right? So the puppy ate my tooth. It's like, well, actually, why did my temporary crown fall out and the dog happened to be there at that moment and eat it? Because in that moment, I needed to heal something, not in that literal moment, but it made me think, what is that? Because obviously this is what I do every day of the week. I'm like, okay, things like that don't happen to me. So why is that happening to me? Yeah. So in that moment, it was like, okay, why is this happening to me? And then it wasn't until a little bit later, after I've dealt with the whole drama of it all, I was like, when was it? When did this problem happen to my tooth? I was 13. Yeah. So then I was able to say, oh my goodness, that was a shock because I had an accident, etc., etc., etc. Then a problem with the tooth. And so that was needing to be healed. So that happened because I needed to go, oh my goodness, that was a shock. Now I need to heal that shock within me. Just little nuances, not massive, but it showed me something. And so, when we look at these things that happen in our life, and they don't really stop. I mean, you just have to be aware of it. They're like bits and pieces happen all the time. An accident is never an accident. Yeah. It's just an alignment at that time. And of course, we have to look at the astrology of that as well. And there's a lot of lunar eclipse last weekend and the Sagittarius solar eclipse coming up, which is going to be even more powerful. But looking at, I saw quite a few car accidents. Well, that is like, whew, being out of alignment in that moment because you needed to heal something, right? In that moment. Yeah.
Yeah. And
So
it is
it's
definitely drawing you back to it. Yeah.
and it's drawing you back to it. And another thing that came up for me a couple of days ago was I fell back in the swimming pool when I was about 7. And I got my 10 meters or 15 meters we do over here. And I fell back in, split my chin open. I was so excited, fell back in. Yeah, split my chin open. And then I started to feel the last couple of days quite itchy. Well, skin is, if you have itchy skin, it's to do with the healing of the separation. So in that moment, I would have felt separated from source, never am, but that shock of I'm going to die in that moment because I fell back into the water, hit my chin on the side and split it open. So that is a fear, like, fight or flight shock incident that goes in to the heart, up to the brain, into the physical. I haven't ever done work on that. That has never come up ever in all the years I've been doing this work. So it needed to come up. So I just acknowledged it. I went, oh, that's interesting. Yeah, great. Clear that. Gone. Yeah. So it's showing us all the time. And I think especially now, really pivotally, all these little bits that we haven't looked at.
Yeah. And I love that because I cracked my chin open as well when I was young. So I'm going to be revisiting that as well. So obviously you're
Wow. That's why
sharing
I
this
had to tell
version.
you.
Yeah.
That's why I
Yeah.
had to tell
Another
you.
similarity that we have again. So
And I used to get really painful shoulders. Yeah.
all right. I'm spending
It
too much
was,
time with you, Susan.
yeah, you probably,
Kidding.
yeah. But no, I used to get painful shoulders, and it was really about the responsibility of feeling that I had to do it all myself. And when that, was released, I didn't feel it anymore. So
Yeah,
yeah.
well, I'll be looking at that as well. So, all right. So let's see. We have some other people who are saying hi to us here. So we have Maria Luna Light saying hi from the UK. Catherine says hello.
Hi from the UK.
Yes. And we have Risa with us saying hello. Hello, beautiful goddesses. And let's see, Brigitte, Sheena. And now I want to quickly go to some of these questions that came in earlier,
Okay.
and then I'll come back to these most recent ones. So we have one from Debbie, who is saying, I'm seeking answers about my current concern over experiencing a lot of doubt about myself as a healer. And she's wondering if there's something else more important that she might need to focus on, or is that something that she should be focusing on?
Okay, I'll ask. I think I'm already getting it, but I'm just going to check in with them anyway.
Sure.
So hold on. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So what I'm seeing, what's her first name again? Is it Sheena?
This is
Did you
Debbie.
say? Debbie,
Debbie.
sorry. Oh, it's funny. Sheena might be next. Okay, Debbie. So Debbie, the first thing that I felt when Debbie was actually talking about your question was that no, it's not about you stopping being a channel of light, a channel of healing for others. That's definitely not it. What I'm seeing, and it's kind of, I see it energetically in your field. It's just some lifetimes where you were killed for being a healer. Obviously, we've just come back. No one's a healer for anyone. We're just the channel. We facilitate healing. But in the days of old, we would have, been witches and, medicine women. And, I can see you kind of many lifetimes here with you. And I feel that those parts of you need to be healed, and that's all it is. And that trickled down, the guides are saying, into your childhood, and I'm not listened to. Yeah. So your higher self's talking to me, and I'm hearing I'm not listened to, I'm not listened to, I'm not listened to. So that's the work. So coming into the I am presence, dropping right down to the I am, but to heal those lifetimes that are in the Akashic records that I can see, and they're just kind of in your shoulder, behind you. So I know it's old and it's past, but it's just making you doubt, and that's a good thing, because once you've cleared that, and maybe when you go to sleep tonight, just ask for those lifetimes to send forgiveness to all those aspects of yourself, all those times where you felt betrayed, or you felt you were killed, for being a healer, and it was really difficult for you to end that life that way. Just send forgiveness to all of those parts of you, and then ask your guides to give you some more insight. But definitely, I'm not feeling, because I see a beautiful channel of light with you, and we're just fine tuning here the nuances. Yeah,
That's
confidence as well.
beautiful.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she was saying, should she be focusing on something else other than,
A healing
that
journey.
doubt, I guess.
Oh
but
no, focus on that doubt. Yeah, because that
okay,
doubt has come up. Sorry. Anyway, I'll just get what I get. But the
okay,
doubt came up for a reason.
okay,
Yeah. And that's a really good thing because
okay,
we have to question ourselves. We have to say, oh, does that fit with me? Does that sit? And is there something I need to heal?
okay.
Yeah, I hope that
Beautiful.
helps.
Beautiful.
Mm.
Okay, so she's not able to be here with us right now, so
Ah,
I'm sure she'll let us know on the replay if that was helpful for
yeah,
her.
sure.
I'm sure it was. So Elena is asking if her angels and guides are currently guiding her to the life she wants to manifest, and is it coming true?
Okay. It's kind of an abstract question, really. I know you're smiling, W, right?
Yeah.
But our guides and angels are always, always, always talking to us. Okay. And as I said at the top, when we have a dream or we have an intention or a focus, there's no mistake why we have that. And there's always a reason for it. When we're coming from our heart and not from ego of needing to own something or whatever it might be, but we're coming from our heart for humanity, for service, the guides will always, always support you. We are abundant souls. We came in to remember that. And so we co create with the universe. So it's just really about trust. And what I'm feeling for you is really to trust and working with your guides on um, a direct way. So you actually know them really well and you start to really build that relationship with them. That's something that we do in the beginners course. But you start to really get the vibrations of them and then you start to trust. Because what I hear from this question is, I'm not sure I trust my guides. I know they're there, but I'm not sure I trust them. So
Mhm.
that would be that they absolutely are talking to you and listening to you, but it's about the trust piece.
Yeah, and you know what that is, I do want to touch on that in the beginners class. You do an incredible job of really helping people to understand how to interact with those energies, how to sense them, get a feeling of them
Yeah.
being near you, not, etc. So it's a wonderful class. So if anyone is interested in
Yeah.
doing that, Susan does an incredible job of, even if it's not really something that you would think of as a beginner's topic, you feel that the class is ready to
Mhm.
do it, then boom,
I do. Yeah,
there's
I do. I
mediumship.
tailor it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Things come in that you
Mm.
wouldn't necessarily expect. So I just wanted to
Yeah.
put that little bit of information in there if she's
Oh,
interested
thanks,
in that.
Debbie. Yeah, it
And
starts again in January, so mid-January,
oh,
the next one.
beautiful.
Mm.
Beautiful. So there'll be another class very soon. So that's wonderful. Okay, let's see. We have Haley says it's not so much a question, but something she wanted to share. And she said after watching the retreat video, when she was a child, she had a feeling that she was the only real person in her world, that everyone in it was put there for her. Everything that was said and done was for her own experience, growth, and learning. So she's just kind of
Yeah,
putting that out as like a statement,
beautiful.
but
Mm.
let's talk about that a little bit. Let's kind of,
Mm.
is that, she says that she had that conversation then with her son and he said that really resonated with him as well. So is that
Yeah. Mhm.
is that what the experience really is?
Well, I mean, the way I see it is it's almost like there's a stage, and we are, I think it was George Herbert Mead said something like this, but literally it was like we are mere actors upon a stage. I could be wrong, someone's going to tell me who it was now, on a stage of life.
Right.
And I do see it that way. Yeah, who is it? Debbie, do you know who it is?
I don't know.
Okay, someone will text
We'll
that
see if somebody
hopefully.
says, does
Yeah,
anyone
but
know?
it's like we are but mere actors upon a stage of life, and what the guides say to me is, and they have done for many years, is actually this is just it's just a bit of fun. This is an illusion. It's like the fear aspect's an illusion. This is an illusion. It's just we're creating it and we're having fun with it. And that's why, and I say this to my groups, is like, actually don't get too serious about it, because actually when we pass over, when that eventually is our choice to experience another experience, then we'll just look back on it and go, oh, that was 1 second. That was like one moment. It
Right.
was quite a cool one because we chose to be here at this time, but
Right.
it was one moment. And so I think, yeah, what she said, absolutely. Every single person is put there as a soul family, as a soul group, soulmate, whatever it might be,
Mhm.
to allow us to grow more and more. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I love that as
Mm.
well. If it's such a, I always say that in this soul's life, I guess, this incarnation is but a blip. That it,
Yeah,
it could last for maybe 5 minutes. So maybe it is
yeah,
just like that. I don't know, but
yeah,
but it is just that quick. So it is fascinating from that perspective. So I
yeah.
love that she's that in tune, that as a
Mm,
young person was able to really sense that.
yeah, it's
Because
amazing.
I don't think there's a lot of people that young. I mean, granted, maybe now with the
Mm.
people, the souls coming in, that they are that more in tune. But I love that she was able to do that.
I do
So
hear my daughter, she's 14 this Wednesday, and I do hear her talking to her friends. She's not in the system, so she's not in day-to-day schooling system, but she was in that system. So she has quite a lot of friends from different walks of life.
right,
And I hear her talking, and she doesn't know I'm listening, but I hear her talking to her friends, and I hear her saying, well, you know what? You within you, you've got everything you need. You don't need to worry about anything. And I'm hearing that, and I'm like, yeah, actually, they've come in to be the
right.
teachers of
Mhm.
these
That's so
children of
true.
now have come in
Yes.
to be the teachers of everyone, really.
Yeah,
'Cause I
that's
wouldn't have said
incredible.
that. I wouldn't have said that as her age at 13.
No, no, not at
It wouldn't
all.
have been something I would have known. I would
No,
have
I'd have been
known, but I wouldn't
oblivious
have
to
known.
that. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't have been in my consciousness. Mind you, she's been brought up with obviously, the language that we speak about,
Right.
consciousness language. So I suppose she's been brought up with it,
Right.
which she
Even
used to call
so, she may
weird.
have heard it, but that doesn't necessarily
Yeah,
mean she's embraced it and integrated it into her
exactly.
thought form. So she has.
Yeah.
So that's
Mm.
beautiful. Very beautiful. Okay, so let's see. We have another question here from Brigitte, who says, when our souls come to earth with our core wounds to heal, and those wounds come into play to heal, does the soul take into account what will be happening in the social aspect of the planet, I think, in terms of the compounding effects against our wound because of social media, cancel culture, etc. If this is happening to your child, can I ask for mercy on my child's soul, as it may be too much, maybe much more than they had asked for? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I get the general
Okay.
gist of that. I just want to answer about your child, because obviously being a mother myself, your child will have chosen you as an amazing mother, and their father as well, whether you're together or not, they would have chosen you to be their parents, and they 100% knew what they were coming for, right?
Right.
So
Right.
you don't have to worry about any of that. Step away from the human and remember that your children, or child, is absolutely vibrationally set for what they chose. And this is one of the things that when all this wave of awakening, let's call it, lockdowns, all that stuff, started to come upon, I was like, right, okay, well, mine are fine because, I work from home, they're at home with me, they're not at school. But it was my children's friends, that I was thinking about. And I was like, and I had to come back and just say to myself, okay, their soul will have chosen what they needed to experience for whatever reason. We're the same. We needed to experience what we needed to experience and come in at this time, and your children would have done the same. One of the things I talk to people about is the children's chamber, if people are interested in it, because when you put your children in the galactic children's chamber, what it
Mhm.
does is they haven't really got lives to clear. They've just got a bit of karma from their parents, but they have the remembering So they're vibrationally being reminded all the time of why they came in, and it's a chamber of protection. So a lot of people have put their children in that chamber of protection. Mine are in there, but only from the perspective of really kind of reminding all the time in their field of who they are. So if they're in a situation where they've perhaps got other people that don't remember, they're always remembering. So I don't think you need to worry about your children.
That's
Yeah,
beautiful
yeah,
because, we
yeah.
all worry about that. And one of the things I
Yes.
often say is and not just with your children per se, but that we can't deny another soul their journey because we don't know
Exactly.
what that is. We only know, and, to a certain extent, what do we know of our own, but we definitely do not have the understanding of what specifically they wanted to come in to learn unless we've really sat down and had, a session and really kind of like looked at that
We
deep.
can look at the astrology. I look
Right.
at
We
my
can look at
children's
that.
charts all the time. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. We can
But
do that.
yeah,
But
yeah.
otherwise,
We can
but
see
you
that.
have to kind of let them have their
Absolutely.
experiences. And one of the other pieces in that, in learning, through life is that when you try to protect, you try to keep them safe, you may be pushing out and prolonging an experience that might actually have been something minor had
Yeah.
they just experienced it when they were meant to.
But
But
that's
because,
our stuff, isn't it, Debbie? Like if we
right.
do that as a parent, and we're parents, yeah, it's like
Mhm.
if we do that as a parent, that's only our stuff. Like we're just like we want the
Exactly.
best for them, and that's what I love about trust and surrender this time is, and that's why I like the children's chamber because it's like, well, put them in it and don't even think about it, and it's the same for us. It's like put ourselves wherever we need to be and don't even think about it. And I think we need to, Joshua talks about this a lot. Is like just trust and surrender because actually you've got no control over any of this, and I think we used to think we had to, control everything. I was definitely like that. Like I wanted to
Yes.
know exactly what was going on, and that's different from being organized. Yeah, I'm organized as well, but
Yeah.
it's different from being organized. It's needing to know all the time what's going to happen here, what's going to happen
Right.
there.
Well, and isn't that also because you're maybe thinking you're going to keep yourself safe that way?
Exactly. So there's nothing to fear. That's exactly it. So there's nothing to fear ever. So once we trust and surrender and we go, okay, let's trust and surrender. This time now, no one knows what's going on in the world, do they? We're told one thing, something else, there's something else. There's some people choose that, some people choose something different. And we can't control any of it. I'm in the UK, as most of you know, but other countries, Australia, wherever, we don't know. So the best thing to do is to remember who we are, trust and surrender, and to say, you know what, actually, yeah, okay, bring it on. And that's what I say. It's like, bring it on, whatever. I don't think
Right.
you ever get dealt anything that you can't deal with.
Right.
Sometimes it feels like that, but I don't think you ever get dealt anything you can't deal with.
And when somebody's
And if you
feeling
are,
so, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, what if you are going through something really, you might be just about to say that, but if you are going through something really difficult, then, know that you've got the strength of your soul and the strength of who you are to move through that. And you're going to be looked after. Yeah.
Yes, what I was going to basically say is so when someone's in that state of overwhelm and they're feeling like life is out of control and they just can't get back to that place of being centered and okay,
Yeah.
I can breathe and everything's fine and it's all, what I've concocted in my mind as to what's happening here. It really isn't that. It is, I was going to say, how do they get to that place then? Once again, it's again coming back and
Yeah, and it's not always easy, and I get that. And we're all work in progress. I've been doing this a very long time, and I'm still, as you know, working with bits and pieces that come up. But I think the main core things are, a really good. I'm just hearing something here. So a really good thing to do, whatever situation you're in, just imagine that you're acknowledging your child, meaning your inner child. So you might say something like, So say, you're worried about someone in your life or the world or whatever. You just say, I'm so sorry that you feel so fearful of this situation. Yeah. And so you're saying instantly, you're saying, I get it. I'm sorry that you feel that way. That never gets said to us. And
Right.
that probably wasn't said when you were a child. So when we can actually give ourselves compassion in that moment, so there might be something happening, I don't know, in a relationship, whatever it might be, and just go, I'm so sorry you feel so sad about that. I'm so sorry that you're feeling that no one's there to talk to. You acknowledge those
Right.
parts, and
Right.
it can be hard, and it does sometimes become emotional, but it's the first step that we can do ourselves into acknowledging that part of you that actually, in that now moment, felt something from the past. Because the now is the now of, it's not just now, is it? It's the
Right.
now of all of the nows and
Right.
all of the nows into the future. So that the power of now, obviously Eckhart Tolle, but we're
Mm.
in that moment of that now moment, and there is nothing else. But what is happening in that now moment is a collection or the sum of the parts of before. So we have to acknowledge somewhere along the line, because in this lifetime it got triggered in childhood. Yeah, obviously other lifetimes, but it got triggered in childhood. Yeah, so we
That's so
can just
powerful.
acknowledge.
Yeah,
Mm,
that's really powerful
yeah.
because I think when you think about all the things that people are going through and struggling with, that what a
Hmm.
difference really that acknowledgement, how far that would
Hmm.
go. That's very powerful. Very powerful.
It's
Um,
inner child work. Mm.
Yes. And so Haley, by the way, says all the world's a stage and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances. And one man
I
in
love that.
his time plays many parts. It was Shakespeare. So she said,
Oh,
thank
it was
you.
Shakespeare.
That was a great way
Ah,
of looking at it, Susan. So
yes.
yes. Um,
Thank you.
okay, so let's see. The next question, Catherine says, when things happen, I have a hard time relating it to anything in order to heal it. So how do you heal what you don't know that you don't know?
Okay. One of my specialisms.
I know. I
So,
saw that. I was like, oh, there it
well,
is.
yeah, my background's trauma. I mean, I was a specialist in trauma, in child protection, etc., veterans, you name it. The key thing when something happens is you acknowledge how it makes you feel. So you say, right, so a shock happens, you're like, it makes you feel afraid, or it makes you feel sad, it makes you feel frustrated. Confused is when you don't know what it feels like. So you go to confusion. That's where you start. So something will happen, I feel rejected, abandoned, afraid, the list goes on. And so it's acknowledging that emotion. Same as dreams. When you wake up from a dream, how did that dream make you feel? Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
was it a beautiful dream? Because that's your processing going on while you're sleeping.
Mm-hmm.
Was it a beautiful feeling dream? Was it a dream where you felt, oh my God, like, I feel like I'm going to fall off a cliff or something? What
Right.
was it? And that is the key to knowing where that is. And the other thing coming to me is when you know that emotion, you can actually feel where that is in your body. You can give it a color. There's a
Right.
loads of processes on my I've got a program called Sparkle to Success on my website, and it's all the inner child processes, and they're actually going to be in my book. All these processes are going to be in my book. So actually you can connect with that. Children are great at this, by the way. So if a child has, if they're upset or something, you can say to them, where do you feel that in your body? Is it in your
Mm.
head? Is it in your tummy? Is it in your heart? And they can feel it. They can feel it and give it a color. Literally, that acknowledges it, and they're able to just release it. Bring some
Mm.
golden light in there, magic wand maybe, but that kind of thing. And so the first step, Catherine, is to find that emotion. Just put your hands on your heart, come into your heart, like, how does that make me feel? I'm feeling, yeah,
Yeah.
scared. I'm feeling, yeah.
That's beautiful. That really is because it's once you can label it in one
Mm.
way or another. As soon as you can give it a
Yeah.
label and you can discern what
Mhm.
that is, you can then take it to the next level and the next level
Mhm.
also to see, because often, wouldn't you agree, sometimes what we're feeling at the surface isn't really what the issue is. It's maybe
Absolutely.
layers below
Yeah.
that, but you have to start someplace.
And we're not doing psychotherapy,
Right.
right? You know, the days have gone when we used to trawl through stuff. We don't need to do that now. We just need to acknowledge it and then, you know, obviously do the work on, you know, the inner child or whatever aspect it is that shows up. But we don't have to, you know, talk too much about it. We can just acknowledge it. There's a really great process called the emotional wall. That's also on my course and going to be in my book.
Mhm.
And the emotional wall is just so powerful because the wall is there. I wish we had time to do it actually, but the wall is just the barrier. So when you feel something, you could say, right, okay, how high is my wall? What does it look like? Yeah.
Right.
And
It's
then what's
powerful. It's very powerful. We just did that the other day. It was
we
very
did?
powerful and very surprising when you think
Yeah.
about what's actually there, what you're able to
Mm,
visualize being there
yeah.
and preventing you from connecting or preventing whatever
Yeah.
that wall is blocking.
Yes.
It is amazing to see, and coming from
Yeah.
the perspective of a child.
Yeah, because you know the walls are just a heart wall, aren't they? And then, I mean, we did it in the guides class. We had fun with the first time we felt disconnected from source. So
Mhm.
it was like the first aspect, wasn't it? And we've all, you know, we've all had loads of those aspects, but this one was really just to help the divine connection, wasn't it? And so, but you
Mhm.
can use it for anything. So you could use
Yeah.
it for like, you know, I don't know, upset, forgiveness, sad, angry, whatever.
Yes,
Um,
it's a beautiful
yeah.
process. It really is. It was fantastic. I can attest to that.
Hmm.
So Catherine, let us know if that resolved your question. And then let's see, Maria Luna Light says, both me and my son cracked and lost a front tooth at the age of 7. Interesting. And she
Wow.
split her chin open and has a small scar from when she was 5 at a fun fair with her dad in a dumper car. It just came to her just as we were both talking about our own experiences. Mine was from jumping off of
Wow.
a chair and cracking my chin open when I landed on the floor. But yes, so, and then Brigitte says that's how she felt like an actor, but the other people around her didn't know that yet. This is from the comment
Yeah.
earlier. It
Yeah,
made her
yeah, yeah.
feel so left out until just recently when she really understood her light. So that's beautiful.
That is
Um,
beautiful.
and
Mm.
then let's see. So let's talk a little bit, because Catherine's actually mentioning this, but let's talk a little bit about this book of yours. So what's happening with this book? When can we expect it?
Yeah. I can't give you a date. So I was really obviously blessed to have won one of the prizes for the Hay House Writers competition, and I found out in June. So that was a good kickstart for me to get myself organized to actually get it off to the publishers. So it is in plan. It's been written, but the it's called Awaken the Light Within Your Heart, and essentially it is all my trauma processes, you know, the inner child processes, but with the weaving of the guides throughout it. So there's a lot of
Mhm.
channeling and a lot of healing throughout it. And it's encoded. The guides tell me that it's encoded with healing as people read it. And many people have read my draft because I wanted to check it out and see what people felt before I even sent it off to Hay House. And so I won a Babel Press. Yeah, yeah, you know what I'm like. I like to find out. So it was the Babel Press advanced publishing package. So my plan is to have it off by the end of the year to the publishers, and then work on the front cover in the first part of the year,
Mm.
and then with a view to having a publishing date by the end of March to know a publishing date. So yeah, next year
Nice.
definitely.
Very
Yeah.
nice. Well, that's such an incredible accomplishment. So kudos to you for that. And I know there are many people that are waiting for it to help enlighten them further. And I want to add another comment. Karen said that she's recently started working with you, and she can say it has
Ah,
thoroughly enriched her life, as I can say that as well
ah,
from having the
thank you.
opportunity to work with you as well. So very,
Thank
very
you, thank
good.
you.
Yes. And so since we're kind of coming to the end of our time here, um,
Hmm.
how about Susan? Do you have anything? What's going on in your world? How can people reach you? What offerings do you have that
Yeah,
are
sure.
coming up? Just to keep giving people some ideas.
Sure. Yeah. So you can find me on susankennard.co.uk, or just put Susan Kennard into Google. It's Kennard, and you'll find me. So that's my website. You'll find me across all social, which is the same, just my name, Susan Kennard. The key thing I think at the moment for people is the galactic crystal healing chambers that are where you trust and surrender. Well, I hold lots of those, so you can go to my website and have a look at that. There's always new ones coming as well. We do monthly intuitive healing retreats. So today, for example, I put everyone in the Chamber of Synchronicity. So we're excited to find out, what's going to happen in people's lives there. And last week, the week before last, it was the Chamber of Joy, which has been, I've got lots of amazing feedback. Yeah, it was amazing. And each month there's a different kind of subject. So depending on what I get from the guides is perfect for people to experience, and that's what I do. I'm an intuitive astrologer, so I run 2 astrology events a month. I run the new moon and the full moon. And of course, we've just had the full moon Taurus lunar eclipse, which was pretty powerful. And I give card readings on there and all sorts of meditation, healing. That's on my website as well. And the other key thing, I suppose, is my members program. So basically, I have a members program where you get all of that. That's all part of the members, plus a members session. So basically, we all meet together, and that's a private just for members. And we have a forum where we all support each other every day. I mean, constant
Mm.
all day long. People are helping and supporting each other. In fact, Karen's joined the membership as well, so she's on the
Oh,
membership, which is
beautiful.
great.
Beautiful.
Yeah, what I find is people kind of sample the retreats and then, or hear me on a show,
Right.
and then they come on the membership.
Right.
And also, from that, there's opportunity to work with me one to one as well. I do a VIP. I also do a channeled session that people can book, and I'm taking bookings for January now. So
Mm,
yeah.
beautiful. Okay. So we have a couple things here. So Brigitte is saying, do you do a chamber protection for children? So the answer to that
Yes,
is yes. Um,
absolutely. It's on my website.
yes.
Yeah.
And Diana says she's on your program and truly recommends them as well. And then
Oh,
do you have time for one last question?
yeah.
Okay, one last question from Lori. How do we know we're on the right journey? She feels blocked and stuck. She's struggling with a career change and hoping she's following her life's purpose. What can she do to work through this block?
Yeah, it's a lot of people are going through this at the moment, Laurie, and it is about really, thank you. It's what I say to my children, what lights you up. Okay, so
Mhm.
mission is what lights you up. And I always find that if one door closes, so maybe the career change, the one door closed, because maybe you felt your integrity was it needed to close, or for whatever reason you can share with us, then another door opens. And what lights you up is truly your path. And if you feel something is monotonous, boring, you're exhausted all the time, it's probably not your mission, let me tell you. But your mission is really what lights you up. And it doesn't have to be, you don't have to be a channel, you don't have to be doing anything like this. It is what lights you up. And so that is my answer to you. It's like really trust the synchronicity of life, that perhaps that door closed for a reason, big reason, and then you're moving on to another doorway. Even if that doorway doesn't light you up, there'll be another one. And just really trust and surrender, because we have an abundance chamber on the website, and that is also about mission. So you might like to look at the blurb and read it, because people find that when they're in that, then other things happen as well. And it's like, that's where they need to be. But I would say that the key thing is joy. When you feel joyful about what you are doing in this world or what you're being, you're on the right track.
Mm-hmm. And that's beautiful, because, I think Rob also reiterated something about that because you feel joyful, because something, you just feel
Exactly.
this enthusiasm for it. It's something, like you said, it lights you up. It ignites something in you when you're doing it. And then that you're on the right path. Exactly. That you're experiencing something that you should be doing. So that's beautiful. It really is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so how about any last parting words, Susan? Anything you want to share?
I am going to bring something in from the guides, but I forgot to say to you that I've got a YouTube channel as well. And I do every week. In fact, it'll be tomorrow. I do a channeled, guided healing or process or meditation. So it's just my name once again, and it's on YouTube, and it's every single week. And so I'd love it if people would subscribe to it, and then they'll see when I go live. It's around about lunchtime UK, so around about 1-2 o'clock in the UK in the afternoon. And every week I do a channeled message, and sometimes cards. We have a bit of fun. So let's see who wants to come in. It's Mother Mary coming in, and the first thing I'm hearing from her is we as a humanity and a collective are birthing a new age. But as we birth a new age, we are also rebirthing ourselves. And we're rebirthing ourselves from all of the times before where we have chosen pathways. Pathways where she's showing me meandering. So where we meandered for many times, but this is not a lifetime of meandering. This is a lifetime of seeing exactly where you need to go. Trust in your heart, because you are being rebirthed as humanity is rebirthing this new earth. So what I get from that, I feel, is actually, it is about direction, and it is about just going forward. And, we might have meandered before in other lifetimes, and that's okay. But this one is very much about straightforward, really listening to our heart.
Yes, you get to go straight through. You don't have to take the circuitous route anymore. And I think it's just more or less focusing on that and being aware and really looking at fully awakening, fully stepping into your power, stepping into the authenticity of who you are as a soul, and really just making that happen. Just raising your frequency and your vibration, just continuing to rise. So yeah, that sounds so beautiful. I love that. Very, very nice.
Ascend.
Yes, exactly. Ascend. Well, thank you, Susan. I can't thank you enough. I mean, I personally just adore you. I have really adored the time that I spend with you in class, and everyone. Susan, if you don't know Susan, she is just the most kind, giving, caring, just loving person. So I highly recommend that you find your way to her site, that you spend some time working with her. It's done incredible things for me in just a very short period of time. So I can't thank you enough, for all that you've assisted me personally with. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for being here. And if you have any other questions, Susan, are you available to answer extra questions in group maybe?
What I'll do is I'll check in with it. Do you want me to stay on for a little bit? I can stay on for a little bit.
If you want to, sure. And I can also tag you. So
tag me, definitely.
If I see something that someone's specifically asking, I'll tag you, and then you can jump in and answer that. So we'll do that. So again, thank you so much for the time today. I so appreciate it. So much love to you. So much love and many blessings to everyone. Thank you again for your time, and everyone, thank you for being here and for all of your questions. And Susan, I will see you in the back in just a second. So thank you all. Much love. And until next time, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.